All right, guys, we are back. We are talking The Last Jedi. So post those emails in the chat and we will talk about The Last Jedi.
All right, guys.
Sorry about that. All right, let's do it. Come on, guys. You wanted this. You got it. I'm going to bring people on and we're going to talk about The Last Jedi. Ooh. It's a sensitive topic to most people. I can't hold my phone, apparently. All right, if you want to come on and talk about The Last Jedi, post that email. I will send you the invite and we'll do it. We will do it. What's up, Angry Jawa? Got Kevin Rettle, Clicky Monster. Jedi Bob, of course, is number one. All right, Jedi Bob, you were the one who wanted to do this the most, so let's get Jedi Bob in the house. I have Jedi Bob on for a few minutes, and then we can have some more people on.
Oh, Jay, you knew I would have to come on, every time you stream.
It's not a Last Jedi debate without Jedi Bob, and it's not a Rich Boy Jay guest stream without Jedi Bob either.
Yes, I feel so loved. Yeah,
you are.
I mean, I can't.
When you're not talking about Harry Potter.
I'm not going to say anything about that.
Thank you.
I can't say anything about The Force Awakens because I've admitted that you totally changed my mind on that movie. Like, now I actually like it and love it.
I'm slowly working on The Last Jedi, but I'm glad I've swayed you.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the only thing that really, like, there's two things that really bother. Like, overall, I can't seem to really like it at all. There's like no way. I don't even, no explanation. But my biggest things with it is Hux being a little snitch. And I said snitch specifically, because it's PG, all for the family.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And I also don't like. Luke is a little weird to me. Like, I kind of understand it, but then part of me is like confused about it. And then Rose getting in the way of my favorite couple, Rey and Finn.
I agree with that. All right, so let's start right from the top. We can talk about Hux. So I think the first thing that really surprised me about this point is, I mean, I can understand maybe why you'd feel some type of way about Hux's presentation, but do you really feel that like breaks the movie for you? Like, that alone?
It doesn't.
I'm angered by this.
It just bothers me a lot, because after rewatching The Force Awakens, I was like, oh my god, Hux is so epic. Like, he's just like, boy, we're gonna go take over the Resistance, dudes. And I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. But then they just, like, in my opinion, they just kind of like screwed him over and like made him slam on the floor, squeal like a little baby. Like, and the one point of coolness we did get is when he pulls out his gun to go kill Kylo Ren, and then I feel like that was the only moment we got something epic with Hux. Okay. And like I said, it doesn't break the whole movie, but it's just like, that's something that really bothered me.
I understand. All right, so let's talk about that then. From when I watched The Force Awakens, like, yeah, Hux gives the speech, which I love. I love that scene so much. But I don't know, he always seemed a little slimy to me. Specifically, whenever there's him and Kylo like confront Snoke, and Hux is telling him, like, Kylo thought it was in our best interest to not get the plans. He thought he could just get the girl and get the map to Luke Skywalker that way. And then he's like, it's time to use the weapon. And then Snoke's like, oversee preparations. And then just Hux like turns and looks at Kylo like yeah, Snoke likes me more, kind of like a child would getting his way like against his brother, like with the dad kind of thing, that the person they're trying to sway. I feel like that alone kind of gives you an idea of like, I don't know, they're almost like two brothers that are kind of like fighting for control and for prominence in the First Order. So I kind of like that dynamic. The difference though is like we don't really see too much of Snoke's interaction with Hux in The Force Awakens. So I mean, I wouldn't really, I don't know, I'm not like upset about the way he's treated by like Snoke and Kylo, because I mean Vader pretty much treated every Imperial officer that way. Like that seems to be pretty standard. Like officers get thrown around, officers get choked out, whatever. Like Tarkin was maybe the one that didn't get that, but I mean he got killed off in the first film, and everyone else seemed to be that way as well. Like officers have never, other than like Tarkin, officers have never really been that
respected,
taken that serious, I guess.
Well, but the thing with me is I always kind of felt like Hux was in that. He absolutely was in The Force Awakens. He was the Tarkin of The Force Awakens, and obviously Tarkin is, in my opinion, like he doesn't do much, but he's intimidating, especially and I think it was Jeremy Johnson who did a video on this. He's like in A New Hope when he steps towards Leia like cowards back into Vader. He's trying to invade her personal space, intimidate her, and I mean, Hux didn't do that in The Force Awakens, but I did feel like an intimidation kind of by him during his speech, especially when he's like, doing his speech. Okay. And like, I don't mind. It is also that the way he is treated, like the officers are getting choked out. Like that's a way to go. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's also Darth Vader, but like when Kylo Ren just throws him and he squeals, that's my thing. He's like, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like. Listen, man, like if he would have gotten choked by Kylo or mainly that, I feel like I would still have a little bit more respect for him. But
okay, I can see that. I can see that.
So what was my other issue? What else did I say? Oh, Luke. Yeah.
The next one was Luke, yeah.
All right, so Luke, I definitely don't blame this on The Last Jedi. I blame this on The Force Awakens. And I think actually, I kind of do blame it on both, but I don't think the fact that Luke is hiding out on an island bothers me. You know what? It's fine. Something crazy could have happened. I think it's the reason that he is, and I think that's dumb. I think the fact that he is out on an island. Well, I think the whole entire fact that he is. Oh wait, hold up, Stormy. I appreciate that. But I think the fact that he's on an island for kind of like a crappy reason, and the whole entire reason is. Well, he saw a bad vision of his nephew, right? All right, so you know what? That can give off some bad vibes. But the fact is that he tries to kill him or like wants to kill him as soon as he sees it. That's what bothers me. I'm like, he should have had more evidence and more stuff, more evidence that Kylo could have been this terrible Sith and then tried to assassinate him, not just one measly vision.
Well, so I would respond to that in a few ways, actually. First being, I mean, we didn't see all the buildup there. I mean, I'm pretty sure whenever Luke is explaining to Rey what happened, he tells her, like, I saw the darkness growing in him. Once I knew that there was basically no turning back for him, that's what kind of prompted him to consider even killing him. So I wouldn't say it was just one vision or something. I don't even know if it was a vision at all, so much as just, I don't know, he could kind of just, he could sense what was kind of manifesting in his nephew. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think the way it's presented, I got the impression that there was just, at a certain point, like, he could just see there was no going back for this kid.
Yeah, but then you think about this, it may be more of like he was in charge, he had more accessibility, I suppose, but he spent, in between each movie is around like 3 years or something, or at least between A New Hope and Empire's like a year. So he spent probably around 4 to 5 years. Or, okay, my bad. More like 2 years because he didn't find out Vader was his father for a while. But he spent all that time trying and not wanting to fight Vader. He did not want to kill Vader until the very moment Vader's like, oh, your sister. And he's like, ah. And I think that's just a little weird. He spends so much time. And you might be like, well, it's a father and son dynamic. But I don't know. It's still a family-related issue with him and Kylo.
Uh-huh.
And, better not put my Harry Potter in front of the webcam. Don't want to get kicked. But I just think it's a little weird how he would spend so much time on, in my opinion, a person who's worse than Kylo Ren, and do everything in his power to try to bring him back to the good. Meanwhile, in The Last Jedi, he's just like immediately like, oh, no saving him.
So I feel like we had this conversation before generally, and I think what we eventually kind of converged on is there's a difference between, me trying to stop an already persistent thing that's been going on and me trying to prevent myself being the cause of something that's going on. Specifically with Vader, like a lot of Vader's damage had already been done by the time Luke gets a hold of him. And at that point, yeah, Luke was basically ready to either, save his father or die trying. But, many years later, you have to consider like at what cost is this really worth? Like if Luke's put in a position where, I can stop this up front and we don't necessarily have to have another Vader, because I mean he knew his father did a lot of crappy stuff. Like I'm sure
like blow up a planet.
Yeah, I mean he blew up a planet, he blew up a lot of things.
Slaughtered the hallway of rebels.
Yeah, all that stuff. So I mean I can see from his point of view, like, look, I can either I can kind of go about this the way that I did before, but like this isn't the case of me, stopping this bad guy who's already done bad things. It's like it's either if I don't stop this, the evil that existed before in the galaxy can exist again, and at this point, it's going to be my fault. So I think that's a lot different. And I mean, if you asked Luke, if he had a time traveling machine, if he could go back in time and stop Vader from becoming Vader before he became Vader, I think maybe it wouldn't be as easy a decision for him as it was in, Jedi, for him to lay down his lightsaber and not give in to temptation. I think that's another thing that's kind of understated. Like a lot of his, I mean, it's not really even fleshed out super well in Jedi. I really don't even. I have a few problems with the end of Jedi and kind of how they were tempting Luke, but I mean, part of him not wanting to strike down Vader was not being tempted to go to the dark side. And I mean, Yoda tells him as much. He tells him, you're at a very important time in your development as a Jedi. Like the line that you can cross from being a Jedi and being a Sith, it's very thin. So, be wise about how you go with your emotions and stuff. And the Kylo situation is not that at all. By the time Kylo comes around, like Luke is already a formed Jedi. I don't think he's concerned about, giving into temptation and possibly becoming a Sith and going to the dark side, but more so about, not being basically the person who creates the next Vader. So I don't know if it's as easy as just saying, oh, why didn't he just do what he did in the previous movies? Like the situation and context is much different. Yeah. And I think in the film, he even admits himself, like it was a moment of weakness. I think in the long run, he wouldn't, I don't think he,
it was like
would have actually struck him down if he had the chance. And I mean, and I think that still kind of gets back home to his original character. Like Luke's a great Jedi and all, but he's not perfect. And I don't know. I like the idea that, he had the opportunity. He decided not to, but it still ended up kind of biting him. I don't know. It was that was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still find it a little bit weird, but I mean that does make sense. It's just sometimes it's like maybe they could have been a tad bit more clear of how they show that. I feel like the flashback scene should have had a little bit more screen time to do more, kind of, because it like.
Well, I mean, we basically saw 3 different versions of it. We saw like Luke's version of like Luke's biased version. We saw Kylo's biased version, and then we saw, I think, what we could probably call Luke's true version.
Mm. Also, my other thing, I don't know if I said this beforehand, but I also don't like. Luke dying isn't that big of an issue. Like, obviously, I really didn't want him to die. He's probably like my favorite on-screen character or movie character. But I feel like he should have went. Like, I feel like the Rey and Kylo duel scene is cool, but I feel like it isn't nearly the best or even one of the best lightsaber duels. And I think if we would have gotten Luke versus Kylo, that could have been an actual really cool lightsaber duel. That's something I personally wanted, so I can't really blame that on the movie. But like,
I don't know how you can be upset about Luke potentially killing his nephew and then but also want to see him fight him in a lightsaber duel.
but I mean, at that point, he's like, he's gonna kill him. He's like, at that point in the movie, if they went with the direction they were already going, and in the means of, he attempted to kill Kylo. It, like, I don't know. I just, you caught me at a standpoint. Oh no.
All right.
The Troy J will demolish you with Last Jedi and not care about your feelings, but with facts.
No, that's all good. That was a pretty good conversation. I'll probably have you on later if you're hanging around for a bit. But Ace Gamer needs to come on before he has to go to sleep. So Ace Gamer, post that email, bro, and I will get you on.
Let me say one more thing. This is to the chat. This is to so many people. Listen, the prequel.
Is it about Harry Potter?
No. It's about the prequels.
Okay.
The prequels. I love I like the Phantom Menace. But do I acknowledge that it is a crappy movie? Absolutely. It is not a good film. But you can still enjoy the prequels, but don't lie to yourself and say these are good, unless it's the Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Sith. I can sort of see Revenge of the Sith, but don't lie to yourself and say the prequels are these great movies with great this and this. They really aren't. You can enjoy them, but like, come on, man. Come on.
All right. Jedi Bob preaching the good word. All right, so I just invited Ace Gamer, so hopefully he'll trickle in. And then JB says he wanted to come on as well. If you have time after Ace, I'd love to have you on. But all right, it looks like we got Ace in the chat.
Can I do a face reveal real quick before I leave?
I mean, sure, why not?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stick it to Harry Potter.
Okay. Hello.
You're ejected now. All right, good. All right, what's up, Ace?
Hey.
All right, so let's talk about The Last Jedi. What do you state your points?
All right, hold on. First off, I'm going to try to be as quiet as I can because my family is sleeping.
That's fine. That's fine.
So first off, like I had mentioned, J.J. Abrams had set up he had set up like a script like I think Jedi Bob had mentioned about 7, 8, and 9 about like scripts and what people are supposed to be doing for the next upcoming films.
I don't know if that's true, man. I mean, he literally only wrote 7. While they were filming 7, Ryan was writing 8.
Huh. Well, anyway, that was one of the things that I had a very time dealing with because Ryan. Now I had watched someone talking about J.J. Abrams making the scripts for 8 and 9. So what he had said was Ryan basically scrapped like J.J. Abrams' script and basically just wrote his and filled it with garbage, in my opinion. So
I mean, if anyone in the chat or if you can find me a link that says JJ actually wrote scripts for 7, 8, and 9, I mean, I'll accept that. But from everything I've heard, he literally just wrote 7, and then Ryan was like, as they were filming 7, Ryan was writing 8, and then another person who wrote 9. But anyways, rather than debate like who wrote what, I think a better substantive conversation is what actually happened. So we can talk about some of the things you felt conflicted with episode 7 that Ryan did in episode 8.
Okay, first off, Rose and Holdo, the worst female characters ever. Holdo had no point in The Last Jedi. Besides that hyperspace run, which also that scene, even though it was really cool, it broke space battles forever.
Okay.
Because like, why couldn't you just send many? Because why couldn't you just send like tons of X-wings with astromech droids and send them into the Death Star?
Okay.
So that kind of makes sense on why I say that scene breaks space battles forever. Second off, Rose is just a terrible character. Now, I know the actress, she's a really good actress and everything, but I feel like she should have given a better script or some type of role to fit herself in the Resistance. Otherwise, she's just a terrible character. She gets in everybody's business,
Ooh.
such
Well,
as Finn and the relationship between Finn and Rey that
to be
J.J.
fair, she
Abrams.
didn't know about that relationship. You can't blame her
Yeah,
for that. I don't like it from a story perspective, but it's not like she's like a homewrecker.
yeah, I see what you mean there, but J.J. had set up Rey and Finn as the relationships for Force Awakens.
Yep.
And then the kiss scene was absolutely garbage. It was like she went up to him and then be like, "Here, you have something on your forehead, donk."
I generally
And
agree with that. We go ahead.
yeah. First off, Luke, I kind of blame this like Jedi Bob said on Force Awakens because he ran away. Actually, I kind of blame this on Last Jedi because we didn't know that like he
That's
was
like
going
the
to be
exact thought process that Bob had. He's like, maybe
set.
this is the Force Awakens fault, not Last Jedi. Go ahead.
JJ had never said that Luke Skywalker was going to be a wimpy, pathetic scumbag, in my opinion.
Whitby. Ooh.
And he was so pathetic, like he gave up on the Force and the Jedi Order itself.
Uh-huh.
And that blew my mind because George Lucas had set up a perfect Luke Skywalker through the first three original trilogy episodes. You could kind of agree that he was really wimpy, like young Anakin in A New Hope. But still, it was supposed to be progressing as a greater character. And honestly, even when he force projected himself, now I had watched The Last Jedi on the release date and I got free movie tickets to go see it. My friend said that Luke Skywalker was literally the most powerful Jedi out there just because he was able to force project himself across universes. And his dad had told me that there was a Sith that literally, I don't know how he knows this, but he said that there was a Sith that he was in space and everything and able to breathe correctly. And he used the Force and literally destroyed an entire Star Destroyer.
That's Star Killer from a video game, but
he didn't say that it was Star Killer. So he said it was like some powerful Sith that was stronger than Palpatine himself. So anyway, honestly, I disagree with my friend's opinion about him being the strongest because Yoda was able to 1v1 Palpatine without like really using a breath, not really counting Mace Windu because he got killed and Yoda didn't. So, let's see, what else did I have? Everything like the planets and everything.
I think before we, as I would like to actually remember your points when we talk about them. So if you have extra stuff, we'll talk about it after my responses. But for now, I would like to address a few of the things you said.
Okay.
So your first point was, what was your first point?
I think it was Holdo and Rose. I think.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we can talk about that. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think there are arguments I can make as to like why you ought to like a character. Whether or not you like a character is just how you feel about them on the screen, which is fine. It's whatever. But I just personally feel like her purpose in the film was, I mean, she's like Mon Mothma almost. She's like that. I feel like saying, oh, Holdo was pointless is like saying Mon Mothma was pointless. And I mean, Holdo sure did a lot more than Mon Mothma. Like,
yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, she definitely had a purpose in the film. Like, she was kind of Poe's kind of antagonist, and then there's like a switch in the film where it's like, no, she actually had a plan. She actually was trying to benefit us, but she was kind of like a catalyst in Poe's development and learning how to become a leader. So I think just to dismiss her and say, oh, she was pointless, I don't know if that's fair, because I mean, there are characters that have done way less in Star Wars under that basic role, and I don't
# Jar Jar Binks.
Sure, but I don't think people would describe I don't think people would describe Mon Mothma as just pointless. But for Rose, I generally agree with most people on Rose. Now, as for saying she gets in everyone's business, I mean, not really. Like, I mean, I don't know who does she talk to in that film other than Finn. Like, I guess she has the one scene with Poe, and then Poe sends them off, and then they come back. And I mean, I'm pretty sure she just talks to Finn after that. I don't understand what you mean by getting in other people's business. But like the point of Rose's character was to basically be Finn's catalyst to stay in the resistance and fight for something and actually be about something. The point is that, you know, in Force Awakens, he literally just goes to Starkiller to save Rey. He could not care less about whether or not they found the resistance base. So when he wakes up, it's like, okay, like where does this character go next? We have him and Rose go to Canto Bight, and she's like all in on the resistance. I actually quite love the introduction of Rose because like she thinks Finn's like this hero, and she basically summons upon him running away again. I thought that was actually a really good scene. But
yeah, I enjoyed that one too. But like, I loved how they brought Rose in, but like I said, they could have gave her like a better role before the kissing, in my opinion.
I think if we just take out the kissing, maybe a lot of people feel better about Rose. Maybe if she just died right there, or she just fainted and they brought her back, that's fine. That's like probably my biggest problem with The Last Jedi. Like clearly, the Force Awakens set up Rey and Finn, and I don't. That really does irk me. I hope that JJ goes back to that, but I mean,
yeah, he probably most likely will.
Yeah, I would certainly hope so. But let's talk. I think Luke was your second point, so let's dive into that. So describing him as wimpy, I feel, is just wrong. And I'll start this off by asking you one question: is Yoda a wimp for going into exile after losing to Palpatine? Would you ever call Yoda a wimp?
Why did you do that?
I'm serious. Is Yoda a wimp?
Well, yes and no, but
Luke had a much better reason to leave the Jedi Order than Yoda had to just go into exile for losing one fight, in my opinion.
Well, yes and no, but because the fact that no one knew that we were going to get a prequel trilogy after the original trilogy. So, if they didn't have made the prequel, then it would make sense.
The original trilogy. So, like, George didn't have to write it that way. He could have given Yoda a better reason to go into exile, but he didn't. That was the reason. And no one complained about it. I mean, maybe some people complained about it, but I don't feel most people complained about it. I've never heard anyone describe Yoda as a wimp because he decided to go into exile.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either. So, yeah.
Which basically goes to say, like, I don't know, maybe you're being a little too hard on Luke.
Well, honestly, I grew up on the prequel trilogy, but my mom made me watch the original trilogy first before that, because she's like, no, you got to watch 4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, 3. And I was confused. So, honestly, I grew up on the original trilogy, technically, and we got to see Luke before Yoda was even mentioned, in my opinion, which he's like OG, like he's more known than Yoda, in my opinion, because Yoda wasn't mentioned in A New Hope.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that's why a lot of people give crap about, like myself, to old Luke Skywalker. So
I don't know. I think just saying he's wimpy because he decided to go basically into exile, and I think there are many arguments to be made as to why maybe that's a good thing. Like, all things considered, the Skywalkers have caused the galaxy a lot more trouble than they have good. Like, Luke was kind of an outlier. Like, Luke ended up, being the thing that stopped Vader, but a lot of the damage had already been done. Like, I can't reward someone for putting out a fire that they already started. Like, the Skywalkers by that point had already done plenty of bad things in the galaxy. But
yeah,
I really feel like they had to give Luke something to do. Like, he couldn't have just been around and been Luke Skywalker, because at that point, why is there a conflict in the galaxy? Like, if Luke's as great as we think he is, why is there this huge order that is forming right under him? and he hasn't already taken care of it or done something about it. So I don't think there's a way, if you wanted to have Luke in this film and not be like the main character, that you have him basically as we remember. And I think having him kind of not be the way you remember it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Like, I think a lot of people don't consider the fact that, like I said earlier, these are not the original trilogy people's movies. These are the new characters.
Yeah, I understand
The
that.
original trilogy, you guys have to do something. Like, I thought Han's role in Force Awakens was perfect. That was a good send off for him. And I generally like Luke in The Last Jedi, but like they can't be.
Can I quickly say something about that?
Yeah,
real quick?
go ahead.
So I'm not sure if this is true or not. I'm not sure. Like, I've watched Force Awakens just recently,
Mhm.
and someone had said that old Han had grabbed Kylo Ren's like lightsaber, shoved it closer, and clicked the trigger system to turn it on,
I heard
and
theories
purposely killed
about that.
himself for Kylo Ren.
I would err on the side of no. Han Solo did not kill himself.
Well, I just wanted to mention that, throw that out there. So
Fair enough, but yeah, like that's an interesting dynamic, right? Like, even if you and I feel like it kind of harkens back to even the prequel trilogy. Like, the Jedi were around and they were at their peak, and yet they still literally let the Sith into power right under their noses. So from Luke's perspective, it's kind of like, like, are we really who we think we are? Do we help the galaxy as much as we think we did? All the bad stuff that's happened has really been under our watch or because of us. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's as simple as saying, oh, he's just wimpy. He's not being a good follower. Like, I think there are arguments that Luke would have that we could listen to. But I think the bigger thing, though, is, but like, Luke dying in The Last Jedi isn't equivalent to like Han dying in The Force Awakens. It isn't equivalent to like, I don't know, some other important character dying. Like,
but they couldn't have gave him a more meaningful like death.
how
actually
how
go
could
out?
you have made his death any more meaningful? He literally saved the Resistance.
Well, I know he did that, but what they could have done with Luke is, back on Ahch-To, Rey could have convinced him to join the Resistance, and he could go back to his planet and drink some weird green milk, in my opinion. And Rey could have taken him to the Battle of Crate, and we would have had the duel, and then Obi-Wan would have gave up, like, I mean, not Obi-Wan, Luke would have gave up, like Obi-Wan did, letting Kylo Ren have the final blow on Luke, in my opinion, would just give him a more meaningful death. Or he could just fly around in his X-Wing.
Why does I mean, you literally just described the plot of the movie, except he's actually there and not like why is that more meaningful because he's actually there?
Because he's actually there and not a 3D projection.
But it's like, for all intents and purposes, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's just better, in my opinion.
I suppose. I think that, for one, he literally had no way off the island. And I think that if you're going to have a character like Luke decide, oh, I'm going to separate myself, I would have to suspend my disbelief quite a bit that this random girl shows up and that's what gets him to come back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with him staying because, like, if at the point where Luke has made that decision, I'm sure he's put a lot of thought into it. I'm sure he has weighed the pros and cons and decided, like, he's set in his ways. That's what he's going to do. And I mean, he does kind of redeem himself in that regard, but he does it in probably the most powerful thing we've ever seen a Jedi do on screen. Like
yeah, I understand the point.
Like, that makes Luke a legend. Like, we've never seen anyone do anything like that, and he did it. Like, it would. I feel like it'd make him less powerful if you were actually there and kind of sacrifice himself like Obi-Wan. Like, the fact that he was able to pull that off was incredible, in my opinion. And I thought it made for a good twist in the film. I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, I do understand that. And like I had said, when I went to go see The Last Jedi when it came out with the free movie tickets, I actually, believe it or not, enjoyed Last Jedi. And I loved the way Luke Skywalker came out. I ended up watching it again, and I noticed that I wasn't really okay with it. And I watched it again, and I was like, okay, this was complete garbage. And yes, if we would have had this debate back when The Last Jedi came out, but sadly I wasn't able to get on it, I would have agreed that Luke Skywalker had the most meaningful death ever. But now, in my opinion, I understand like he would have been the most powerful Jedi, like how the film was, but why did he have to stay on the island? Because in Empire Strikes Back, he was able to lift his X-wing out of the. Well, it was Yoda, but at this point, he would have been able to lift his X-wing out of the water.
His X-wing
Like
was
Empire,
broken though. Like he literally used the wings on it to build stuff on the island.
he did.
Yeah, the door that Chewie like smashes into the his little hut.
Oh,
That was an X-wing S foil.
well,
I don't. I
they
still.
didn't.
I
I didn't
still don't see
see
a compelling argument
anything
as to
broken off the
why.
X-wing.
I still don't see a compelling argument as to why he had to be there for it to be meaningful. Like he did literally the exact same thing that you wanted.
I don't know. I do agree with you. I respect your opinions, but in my opinion, I wish he could have been there for the actual fight. In my opinion, so
Fair enough.
yeah,
We can agree to disagree there. Let's see.
yeah.
If you have anyone else in the chat who would like to come in and talk some Last Jedi? I know there's been quite a lot of activity. Sorry, guys, I haven't been able to respond to it as much as I would have liked to. But if anyone wants to come on, we can have a jolly old time discussing everyone's favorite film.
So before I head out, what are your thoughts on Episode 9? How do you think it's going to turn out?
I tried to not speculate on the new Star Wars films just because I don't know. I feel like if I'm right, then I feel like I kind of ruined the surprise for myself, and if I'm wrong, then maybe I was expecting something that didn't happen, so I'm disappointed.
Well,
But
like a scale from 1 to 10, how do you think how good it's going to be?
I mean, I don't know how you can predict that. I mean, it could be like the best film ever. It could be awful. Like I have no idea. It's
Well,
really hard to say.
all right. Rich Boy J, thank you for having on so much. This is actually the most biggest thing that's ever happened to me. Thank
Wow,
you so much.
man. Yeah, it was a good
So,
conversation. I think we need to normalize having nice civilized discussions about Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah, you take care, man.
So,
Thanks for coming on.
thank you for letting me join. Everyone, make sure you like the stream, and good night.
There you go. Take care, man. All right, so we got JV Brick Fanatic. So are you here to tell me why The Last Jedi is bad, or are you here to tell me why the prequels are better than the original trilogy?
I mean, I can definitely give you my opinion on the prequels, but
Let's keep this about The Last Jedi.
okay. So I loved The Last Jedi. So I agree with you there.
Okay. Let's see. I'm interested in seeing how this is gonna go.
The only thing is it's not like Star Wars lore or anything like that. I think the only thing I didn't like about The Last Jedi is like Hollywood's agenda on pushing Earth politics in Star Wars.
Ooh, this will be fun. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people give a lot of hate to Rose and Holdo. Hang on. And I like those characters as characters. They're really good. But I feel like, I don't even know. It's just I have nothing against like having a strong female role, and I enjoy that, and it's really good. But like many people have pointed out, like, where did Holdo come from? We could have had Akbar.
Okay. So I don't know what is. Maybe I'm missing the argument here, but so do you feel that Holdo is there just to have another girl do something important?
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like The Last Jedi is any more quote unquote political than other Star Wars films we've gotten?
See, I feel like the agenda on the politicalness is different. Because I mean, we get tons of political stuff in, I guess, like the whole prequel era, like especially with the show.
Hmm.
Uh, but see that's more like civics class style stuff. Like it's not rights and equality esque,
Is
you
it? I
know?
mean, isn't that what this all kind of boils down to, though?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, yeah, I got nothing really bad to say about The Last Jedi. It was a good film. I think my favorite part was the Praetorian Guard versus Rey and Kylo.
That was a
That
jolly old fight.
that team up was violent. For anyone who said that the newer Star Wars films aren't violent, if you look at one scene, Rey pulls the one Praetorian Guard's like chain whip thing through
Through his
his body and
legs.
throws it. Yeah,
Oh my dude, that's easily the most violent scene we've ever had in Star Wars. The
yeah.
one guy gets thrown into the ground fan and he gets like ground up into little pieces. Oh my
I
god.
when I watched it back in slow motion when I was making the vignette I have over there, and, and yeah, just that one point when one of the guards had like his chain whip thing wrapped around her lightsaber, and she like spun around him. She pulled it through his chest and
Yes.
then threw it, which caught it on fire.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, I mean, I don't know. People will talk all day about the politicization of The Last Jedi. And my response is generally Star Wars has always been politicized. Whether or not you want to believe there's an agenda or whether or not you believe in the agenda, it's a good agenda or a bad agenda, it's always been there. Like Star Wars has always been pretty generally against big government. And I mean, the prequel trilogy is literally all about, a leader creating, I guess, generating sympathy by creating an enemy in a group. And I mean, there are plenty historical examples of that. And I mean, he's literally an evil monster. Like that is literally what he is. So I mean, George Lucas's opinions on many, I guess, facets of politics are made very obvious throughout Star Wars, in my opinion. I mean, watching The Last Jedi, I didn't find it any more political or in my face politicized than any of the other Star Wars films because that's how they've always been. Like in Episode 1, they they go to freaking Tatooine and they free slaves. Like Anakin literally utters the phrase, "My mom says the biggest problem in the world is no one helps people." Like I would argue that's pretty political and based in rights and equality. So I don't know. I don't know where this idea that these movies in particular, even The Last Jedi in particular, is any more political than the other Star Wars films we've gotten. If you want to talk about like women in Star Wars, um, I feel like this will probably boil down to personal preference. But personally, I do not have a problem with having more strong female characters in Star Wars as a series that has been pretty dominated and I would say panders mostly to men. And people will argue and say, "Oh, what about Leia? Like, clearly she's a strong female character." And I agree, she was very groundbreaking for what she was. But for the most part, in the original trilogy, like Leia is always presented as someone who needs to be rescued. Episode 1, they have to go save the princess. And Empire, Han is like, trying to save her, like, "Oh, come fly with me. I'll get you to where you need to go." And I mean, Leia's a good character, but you can still see like a lot of these maybe stereotype tropes and how females are treated in films are still purported through her character. In Episode 6, she's literally chained up as a slave, and they have to save her again. And then she gets captured by the Ewoks. They have to save her again. Leia is constantly being saved, and I don't know. I found it quite poignant whenever Finn feels the need to be our traditional hero and save Rey, and we find out, oh, like this girl's special. She doesn't need saving. So I mean, whether or not, if you think that's something that's in your face and that you don't care to see in films, there's nothing I can really say to you. But
Yeah,
I think it is a general positive thing. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at positive messages in films. That's just my personal opinion.
yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, like you said, it does come down to personal preference. And again, like I said, I have nothing against having strong or weak female roles or supporting roles in the films. I think just The Last Jedi seemed a bit forced, if you will. But yeah, I mean that's all personal.
Fair enough. Well, that was a good civil discussion about The Last Jedi. Trying to get, I guess, Jack Nomart's going to be our next guest. If he's even still around, we'll see. Show off your new Lego Star Wars. I'm going to do a video on that, guys. So stay tuned for that. Looks like you got the Dictarian too. I still haven't even opened mine. Mine's still in like the box that it got sent here in. But how do you like the Finn figure?
It's great.
I'm so glad we got that. Like, I love that so much.
Like I think Brickvault pointed it out that there's no printing on the side, so it kind of looks off. But yeah, it's fantastic, and especially the sleeping head there.
Dude, that's gonna be like so perfect for Starkiller Days. Like, you have no idea. That is exactly what I needed.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And the book actually doesn't have any of the 20th anniversary sets in it, unfortunately.
That's not surprising. They probably the book, I'm sure. No, I'm guessing like the production of those sets and the reveal of those sets wouldn't have coincided with the book, so they didn't want like spoilers to get out there. That's like how a big like all the like the big like Star Wars spoilers usually come from those books. Like the visual dictionaries for like episode 7 and 8 almost always end up like getting leaked far before the movie, so we learn a lot about the film because of those books. So I can see why they maybe want to not put some stuff in it that is like gonna come out pretty soon.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so Jack Nomart, you say you're in the chat. Where's your email though, my guy? Normart, Jack Normart, where you at, bro? Come on.
Yeah, and Jay, if you ever do a prequel debate, I'll give me like I said, give me like 2 minutes and I'll say my points. I mean, I have nothing against the original trilogy, but they're very logical points, I think, and I don't think you'll like disagree with me. I mean, you will obviously, since you dislike the prequels more than original trilogy, but they're civil, they're well backed.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna bring on Jack Normart. Hold on, actually. You can hang around until he comes in the chat if you have some stuff you want to show off or whatever. I am sending him the invite right now. Jack has been invited.
I do want them to remake the Boba Fett and give him a stand.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be like the perfect figure to add to that.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's missing color. You know, it's missing green. Right here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh man, that brings back memories. If you want to see a funny video, go on my channel and what is it called? It's called like My Last Jedi Reaction, but it's a short video, but it involves that set.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll look it up.
All right, Jack, did you get the invite, my guy? Oh yeah, I have to email it again. Freaking ugh. Google Hangouts, I swear. So are you serious about potentially coming down for Brick Fiesta?
I mean, I mean, it's a heck of a drive. That's like, I wouldn't be able to go straight through. It'd probably be like a 24-hour drive. I might have to stop in between.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know if I can get off work. That might be cool.
You definitely should. You'll be one of the few people on this channel who gets to see Starkiller in person. If you decide to go, I will definitely try my best to make it worth your while to come to Brick Fiesta. But looks like we got Jack in the chat. So
alrighty.
See you,
Hello.
JD Brick Fanatic. And what is up, Jack?
Hey, Jack.
Hey, is my mic okay?
Yeah, you sound fine. So go ahead, state your beef with The Last Jedi.
Really, the most disappointing thing was Poe and Finn not going to Canto Bight.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have been a much better story arc.
I 152% agree with you. Like the way I look
Yeah.
at it is like,
I mean, like all the like, Buddy puts up in the first movie, just thrown
hold on,
away.
say that again. I'm sorry, I
In the
didn't.
second
You
one.
like broke up.
Oh, sorry. Like the whole Force Awakens with them becoming friends and having fun, and then in the Last Jedi just completely being thrown away, nothing happening.
Right? Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, it wasn't like nothing happened. Like they had some moments together, but I would have just loved to see them, I don't know, build on what they had in the first film. Because I mean, these films come in threes. We gotta maximize the amount of time our characters get to spend together, and like that puts Matt in a situation where we have to have how do we group them together? Do we have Finn spend most of the time with Rey since they were kind of apart for 8, or haven't spent time with Poe because they were apart for 8? Like if you just had them spend time with Poe and 8, then you have more time for Rey and Finn, and not like I don't know. Just I totally agree.
Yeah. Also, Rose. I mean, I know debatable character, very, very I guess tense to talk about in front of other Star Wars fans, but I don't think that I liked her as a character, kind of. Like, okay, she's sad, she's a complete Resistance believer. That's cool, but other than that, she didn't really table.
Hold on, say that. You were like moving your computer, so I couldn't hear exactly what you were saying.
Here, 1 second. Is it? Maybe it's my internet. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I'm saying that Rose didn't really bring anything to the table. She was just kind of there.
I can generally agree with that. It's not like I didn't watch that film and think, oh, I want to see more Rose. I want to see her backstory. I want to see what she did.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't like
it would have just been very easy if they just had Finn and Poe go to Canto Bight and do their thing. Like, I don't know. I agree. I don't have much to debate with that.
I also wish Maz was in it. Like,
like in flesh, in the flesh. I feel like most people would say like Maz didn't really have to be in the film. Yeah. Like having that little scene with her seemed kind of forced. Yeah.
She was still funny in the first movie though.
Yeah, no, I like Maz. She's like this trilogy's Yoda almost. But I don't know. I think it would be difficult to try to figure out how to get her actually in the film, just given the context of it,
True, they are in the middle of nowhere.
They're in the middle of nowhere. They're like, there's like this conflict going on. Like where does Maz fit into it? Like, I don't know. Maybe they go. Maybe she's on Taco Down. Maybe she's on Canto Bight and they go meet her there. Maybe you can squeeze her in that way. But like, why would she be there? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess her castle did get destroyed, so maybe she's off. She's like retired now. I don't know.
I'm sure she has plenty of money.
There's a way
for 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also wish the Knights of Ren were in it. Teased so much in The Force Awakens just to be thrown down.
See, I don't mind that they weren't in the film. I mean, they weren't really in The Force Awakens either. Like, and given how The Last Jedi kind of plays itself out, having them in the film, I feel they couldn't have really done them justice by having them in the film. Like, there was already a lot of people that kind of needed to have conflicts, and I don't see how you throw the Knights of Ren in there and have it like, I don't know, have them be meaningful. Also, I mean, it's literally like, I don't know, maybe a day that that Last Jedi happens. Like, I don't think it's a case of, oh, we forgot about them or we threw them away in this film. Like, not that much time has passed. I would assume they're probably out with the rest of the First Order trying to capture more planets and get more recruits or whatever. Or not recruits, trying to kidnap more people.
More kids.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we'll probably see them in and 9, but I don't know.
I mean, they were in the poster, right?
The Knights of Ren and what poster?
The like leaked one, the one that's kind of real, kind of not.
Oh, the 9 poster. Yeah. I think we'll definitely see them. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't hold it against the Last Jedi for not having the Knights of Ren. Just the way that the conflict kind of worked itself out. I didn't feel they really had a place in that part of the story.
I really hope that Rian Johnson, like setting up the whole Rey and Kylo thing, and then Rose and Finn, was not his way of separating Rey and Finn from each other and creating 2 separate love interests, because that would be horrible.
Did you get the impression that like there was like a I don't know, like a love story kind of being built between Rey and Kyle from The Last Jedi? Because I actually didn't get that at all.
Love story, or like kind of a brother sister, like sibling, like
That's what it seemed more like.
almost.
Like people are saying like, oh, I'm gonna ship Raylo, but that's not really what I got from The Last Jedi. And I mean, at the end, she pretty much rejects any bond they may form.
Do you have a towel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I feel you. No, I want to see Rey and Finn ultimately end up together. Because we never get that with Star Wars. That's like my one complaint about all of Star Wars in general. The hero never gets the girl, and people are gonna bring up, oh, what about Anakin and Padme? But like, no one rooted for Anakin to get Padme. Like, it was just so creepy and so weird. Like, I don't know.
Padme's a cougar.
I guess Anakin
And
was
did kill her in the end, so I mean,
yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I'd say we had a pretty good conversation there. Look, Tan Bricks is like freaking out in the chat, so I'm gonna bring him on. Tan Bricks, go ahead and put your email in the chat, and I'll bring you on. You can hang around Jack until he comes on, but I just wanted to have him prepped and ready to go.
Are you gonna dismantle your Corvus?
No, that'll stay built. I keep all my vehicles built.
Cool.
I keep all my vehicles built. I believe Stormtrooper. Yeah, you can later.
Magnificent ship.
Appreciate that, man. I love it. Like, that's gonna be the ship that I take to conventions this year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
All right, Tan Bricks, you're on the clock, bro. If you don't answer, Oblivious Stormtroopers coming on. This is your time.
Any chance you'll show up to Bricks by the Bay?
Say that again.
Any chance you'll show up to Bricks by the Bay?
As much as I would love to, I'm gonna say probably not.
All right.
Just come to Chicago, bro. Chicago's not that far from you.
I have a cousin out there, but that's like an 8-hour plane flight for me. And
wait, an 8-hour plane flight from California to Chicago?
Isn't it?
No way.
Or is it 6?
Dude, I live in Texas, and me flying to Chicago is like 2 hours, maybe like 3 hours. There's no way it's 8 hours from.
I may have gotten.
You're in California, right? Northern California, Chicago. There's no way that's 8 hours.
Maybe 4.5, 6, somewhere around that area.
Someone in the chat, look it up. You're in. Can I say just San Francisco? Are you close enough to there?
Yeah, that's where I would fly out of.
Okay. San Francisco to Chicago, flight time, 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying there's no way that's 8 hours, dude. I don't know if there's anywhere in the U.S. you can, in like the continental U.S. you can fly that'll take you 8 hours. Like I don't like from California to like Maine. I don't know if that would even be 8 hours.
That's 6, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Maine and Boston are around the same time, and I've gone to Boston before.
Gotcha. All right, Tanbrick, type your email without the .com. What's up, Commander Rico? So, Jack, what's your favorite Star Wars film, then? Did you,
Star Wars film? Oh.
I don't remember if we asked you.
Probably A New Hope.
There we go.
Probably.
That is the correct answer.
I mean, that's the first one I ever saw, so.
That's good. That's good.
But my favorite battle scene is in Attack of the Clones / the Battle of Coruscant. That was like really captivating to me when I was younger.
Oh, in episode 3?
Yeah.
Interesting. I would have liked. I mean, I feel like it's hard for me to call that a battle because we see like 10 seconds of it maybe, and that's the problem with all the prequel battles. They're not really battles.
And it always focuses on Anakin and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, or it's either focused on Anakin or it's just random montages of explosions.
Yeah, which is why I like the Clone Wars so much. You get to follow the clones' perspective.
Yeah, there's an actual battle dynamic. There's a story to the battle.
Yeah.
Scarif is my favorite battle. I love me some Scarif.
Scarif was really cool. I did like Scarif.
All right, Tan Brooks, I sent the invite. Let me know if you got it, my guy. There he is.
All right.
See you, Jack.
All right, see ya.
All right, Tan Bricks, state your beef with The Last Jedi.
Okay, so my biggest problem with The Last Jedi is the Holdo maneuver.
Ooh, I love talking about this. Go ahead.
Because it kind of ruins a lot of other Star Wars movies. Because you can't say that nobody else knew that was possible. Because when she starts turning the Raddus around, General Hux is like, oh no, she's going to do something. And it means that instead of sacrificing like all the X-Wing pilots and stuff, when like trying to blow up the Death Star or even destroy Starkiller, they could have literally just got a ship with a droid on autopilot and hyperspeed into the station or whatever it was.
Okay.
I just like it was really not valuable to the story. And if she knew if her plan all along was to hyperspace ram the supremacy, then why did she leave it so long after like all the other ships in their fleet got destroyed and stuff? Like,
all right. So I have a few things I can say about this. Number one, I would not say that was her plan the entire time. I mean, she was basically just there on the ship as a decoy while other ships made it to Crate. She didn't decide to do the hyperspace thing until after they started shooting down the transports, and she's like, holy crap, I got to figure out a way to stop them. Number two, like, there are plenty of things in Star Wars that break other things that happen in Star Wars. And I'm sure you've heard me make this argument before, but I'll do it again because there's still so many people who are, I guess, concerned with the hyperspace ramming thing. Biggest one that comes to me is in episode 6, they fly an A-Wing into the bridge of a Star Destroyer and they take it down, which once again can bring up the question, why don't they just have a droid-controlled X-Wing and fly it into the bridge of whatever capital ship they're trying to evade? Like, Han Solo spends so much of Empire flying away from capital ships. If they just had an X-Wing there with them to fly into the bridge of one of them, maybe everything could have been better. I mean, look at just the way people fight in Star Wars. Like, why do they even bother with lightsabers? They have the Force. They can throw people around. You can throw someone 200 miles away if you really want. Just do that. Why bother fighting them with your lightsaber? Use your Force to stop their heart. Use their Force to snap their neck in half. Like the nature of the Force being an ability that the Jedi can use, I feel inherently breaks any purpose of them ever using a lightsaber or of them ever having any sort of combat that isn't just me stopping your heart with my lightsaber. I mean, look at Vader's fight with Luke in Jedi. Like, we see Vader literally choke everyone else out, but with Luke, he has to use a lightsaber. Like, why would he even bother? Just freaking choke the kid out. No big deal. So,
okay, you just like brought up a lot of like really good points, but yeah, I suppose that's like, I don't know. It's just because I suppose it's on a lot larger scale. although now after you've said that, it really does make me think differently. But anyway, I gotta go now because I have soccer practice. But
All right, that's all right.
glad
I think you can stay too
for a
long.
few
Okay,
minutes.
thanks for coming
Yeah.
on, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, so see you, Tan Bricks. Who else wants to come on? I think Oblivious wanted to come on. If you're there in the chat, my buddy, go ahead and hit my line. Who's going to soccer practices? I'm sure he meant he. Well, for one, he's in Australia, so I'm pretty sure he probably actually is going to soccer practice. He is not in U.S. time zones. All right, Oblivious, is he alive? Is he there? Lego Soldier 82 says the Force using those Force abilities drains their energy, which is why they always resort to lightsaber fights because it's less demanding. Well, if you only need to snap someone's neck once, I mean, why not just do it? Vader didn't seem to be pressed, choking all those officers out through TV screens. I don't know. I don't buy that. Appreciate that, Playmation. Point being, like, many things in Star Wars conflict with each other. Every battle's not going to play out the same way. Do I even need to bring up that time Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon ran really fast? Lego Soldier says those officers aren't strong with the Force. When did they ever set up in Star Wars that just because someone else is strong with the Force, that makes it more difficult for you to use the Force against them? Count Dooku didn't seem to have a problem at all using the Force to throw Obi-Wan across the room. All right, Empire Brick Studios, put your email in the chat. Let's do it. Blue Brick says in The Last Jedi's visual dictionary shows Luke traveled to Kashyyyk on his way to Ahch-To. Any idea what that's about? I'm not sure. He went looking for various like relics and stuff, so I'm not sure. Hello? Yes, what's up? Okay. All right, brother. All right. Sorry about that, guys. How much does Lego impact your life? Quite a bit. Quite a bit. I don't know if these last few people don't decide to show up because Empire Brick Studios said he wanted to come on. I have not seen an email yet. There he goes. All right. So I think this will be our last boyo we have on, and then I'll probably dip. All right, so did I do that correctly? 25:36. Come on, what the heck? All right, I think I just invited you. Let me know if you got it. Jay, do you double dip? Is it really double dipping if it's your personal dip? That's the question. Forever Leo Studio says, bro, I got cold like hot as my ringtone. That's what's up. Oblivious, you missed the bell, man. I was telling you to come on. I got no response. So now it's Empire Brick Studios. If he doesn't come on, I'll have you on. But this is the last guest, so it'll be either of you. Empire Brick Studios is on the clock. You got a minute. You got a minute to either say something or to come on. So make it snappy. Jay, when's your next stream with guests? It'll be next week. Jay, do you watch Walking Dead? I have never watched The Walking Dead. Empire Brick Studios, your time is running out. My imaginary watch says so. Well, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I was asking who wanted to come on, and Empire Brick Studios was the one I saw first. Hey, Jay, are you going to sing Cold Like Hoth at Chicago in front of Hoth? I will definitely do that. I will film a Cold Like Hoth music video in front of your mock. Am I excited for Resistance Season 2? Yes. All right, so I don't know what's going on with Empire Brick Productions or Studios, but I'm going to give you 20 seconds to make yourself seen. Go ahead, Oblivious Stormtrooper, put your email in the chat. Says, okay, give me 1 second to download Hangouts to my phone. Oh my God. If you weren't prepared, why did you request to join the stream, bro? All right, Oblivious Stormtrooper, are you ready to go right now? Have I seen any of the Transformers Star Wars crossover figures? No, I have not. That sounds interesting, though. All right. Oh, there he is. Sorry.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, the Oblivious Stormtrooper. All right, what's up, dude?
Okay, so I had to, right when you sent me that that Hangout thing, I checked my email and then I realized that I didn't have Google Hangout on my iPhone, so I had to download it.
Gotcha. All right. So welcome to the stream.
Yeah.
I can't have you on for a super long time. I'd say let's go until it's 10:57 my time. I'll give you like 3 minutes until like 11 because I got to go pretty soon. But go ahead and state your beef with The Last Jedi.
Ooh. Okay, I got to keep it PG.
Uh-oh.
I'll keep it PG. I forgot her name. It's the lady with the purple hair.
That is Holdo.
Yes. My brother was so mad how the way she treated Poe through like the beginning of the movie until up until she like almost died, you know, when she flew through the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And he's just like, just kill her already.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, I know that was a little bad. The other thing is, when I was watching the Last Jedi trailer, I was so hyped because I thought it was going to be like Empire Strikes Back. You know, you got the speeders and the walkers, and I was just, to me, I thought it was kind of disappointing.
The battle itself?
Yeah, like the battle. I mean, the crate battle was kind of cool. I just thought like 10 giant walkers versus one Luke Skywalker was just like not fair until I realized that's a force projection.
Right, yeah, I got you. I agree. No, I guess the battle dynamic of crate would have been a cooler battle if, you know, it was an actual battle. But I guess I get the impression that wasn't really the point of it. Like the entire setup of it was to show how desperate the Resistance was and to show how overmatched they were, that like there was no way they were getting out of that situation without Luke Skywalker. So yeah. I mean, the part of me that likes to see battles is like, oh, they could have done more with it, but like I get why they kind of went the decision they went in.
The look on the look on Kylo Ren's face when he realized that Luke was a force projection was just epic. It was so funny.
Oh
like,
yeah, no,
what?
He like sticks his lightsaber to his like, what are you?
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, that was pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet.
Oh, that was so fun, and it took me a minute too because when Luke first opened up his lightsaber and it was blue, I was like, wait a minute, that I thought that got destroyed. And then I had to keep watching, and then like I didn't even notice the feet print. Like Luke had no feet print, and then Kylo was like just sliding through the salt.
Yeah, exactly.
And that took me a minute until I like watched it for the third time. I was like, oh yeah, that makes more sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I'm still. I'm not. Maybe someone in the chat will know, but I'm not entirely sure why he had the blue lightsaber. Like, I feel like they could have like
brought back the green one.
Right. Yeah. Like that would have. I don't know. That would have made the illusion a little bit better.
Yeah. Like no one would like guess as much because the blue one already got destroyed.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, there's no way he would have like even if it didn't get destroyed, like if Ray like he would have let Ray like hand it to him before it went out there. I don't know. Everyone says Luke's green lightsaber might have been stolen by Kylo. Do we have an actual answer as to where that green lightsaber might be?
Oh, I have another question.
What's up?
So you remember in Return of the Jedi how he threw his lightsaber before he got electrocuted by the Emperor?
Yeah, he threw that off to the side.
Yeah, he threw it off to the side. You figured that would have blown up with the Death Star, right? But at the end, when he gives Leia a hug, you see it swinging on his side.
I mean, he didn't really throw it that far. He just kind of threw it. I don't know. I would imagine he like picked it up before he drug Vader out of there.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I would love to see a Star Wars film that shows like in real time Luke dragging Darth Vader like into the elevator, then down the hall with everyone just like running around. I would love to see what that would look like. It'd be like
the cut scenes of that would be so funny.
Yeah, it's like an hour long. Like, could you imagine? Vader had to weigh like 400 pounds.
Oh yeah, with that armor, and then like asking like an officer or stormtrooper, "Hey man, can you help me?"
Yeah, like, hey, hold the elevator. I'm dragging Vader
heavy.
here. That'll be funny.
That would be so funny.
But yeah, so I think I'm actually going to go ahead and bring the stream to an end. It was a pleasure having you on. I got to have you on like for a longer period of time. I know you've been hanging around the chat for a little bit.
Yeah, I've been trying to get on for a while. I know you got a lot of fans out there, so I've been trying to be understanding.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this last Jedi discussion. It was fun for me. Hope you got a kick out of listening to it as well. And that's going to finish it up for tonight. So
I had a lot of fun.
Jedi Bob says, "Wait, Jay, let me join you quickly." Like, no, Bob, I already had you on earlier, bro. Oblivious Stormtrooper says, "Can I be on first next time, bro?" If you're available, yes, I would love to have you on. Moderators get some preferential treatment. Just be ready to go. But yeah, so thanks for coming on. And I'll see you guys again very soon.
Cool. It's good meeting you, man.
You too, man. Take care.
You too.